बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। आप सब लोगों को खुशामदीद कहता हूँ। और मालूम हुआ ईश्वर साहब जो हैं, नाम तो इनका हल्का फुल्का है लेकिन बड़े वजनी आदमी, इन्होंने अपने साथ हमें भी लगा रखा है, काम से पूरे इदारे को लगा रखा है। माशाअल्लाह खुशकिस्मत है कि आप लोग बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। एंड व्हाट वी नीड एज हमारे बुखारी साहब ने कहा अपने रिमार्क्स में कि हम अल्लाह जो अल्लाह है हमारा, जिसमें हम बिलीव करते हैं और रब्बुल आलमीन है, और रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम वो रहमतुल लिल आलमीन है, और ये उम्मत भी रहमा बैनहुम। तो आप वो लोग काम कर रहे हैं कि जो हमको बहुत पहले शुरू कर देना चाहिए था, इंसानियत की खिदमत का, और सारी दुनिया में कर रहे हैं। हम जब यहाँ पर आए 1967 में, उसके बाद 68 में हमारी वाइफ भी आई, तो हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी ने हमें स्कॉलरशिप दे के बुलाया रिलीजन प्रोग्राम में, कंपैरेटिव रिलीजन में। मेरा फील्ड पॉलिटिकल साइंस था, अलीगढ़ से, इकोनॉमिक्स में लंदन से स्पेशलाइजेशन किया, वहाँ मैं हेड था पॉलिटिकल साइंस डिपार्टमेंट का। लेकिन मैं जिस मदरसे से भागा था देवबंद के, जिससे हमारा ताल्लुक़ है, तो हार्वर्ड ने मुझे फिर उसी मदरसे में पहुंचा दिया। और ये भी अल्लाह ताला की तरफ से हुआ कि तस्लीमा गाजी से हमारी शादी हुई, ये एजुकेशन में थी। फिर ये तब्दीली हुई कि हमने PhD कंपैरेटिव रिलीजन में किया। 2 साल के बाद मुज़म्मिल सिद्दीकी साहब आए, उनको एयरपोर्ट से वसूल करके लाए। उसके 1 साल के बाद आप जानते होंगे अब्दुल्ला अंसारी साहब जो अमीर हुए जमात के, वो आए। वो हमारे वैसे भी क्लास फेलो थे, निजातुल्ला सिद्दीकी, ये लोग, हम लोग साथ ही एक ही दौर में थे, एक ही दौर में थे। वहाँ से ख्याल पैदा हुआ कि अगर हमें यहाँ रहना है, इस मुल्क में, और रहने का हमारा इरादा नहीं था, तो फिर हमें कुछ करना चाहिए। वी हैव टू डू समथिंग। एंड देन विथ परसिस्टेंस फ्रॉम डॉक्टर तस्लीमा वी स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग अबाउट इट। ऑल communities were looking at it. 1963, ISNA was established, that is MSA. And I came here in Gary, Indiana, 1972 to talk to them that let's do something. Talk to IQRA people, they were a very small group of IQRA. And when the first meeting was held of IQRA, I was the chairperson and the guests were Qazi Hussain Ahmad. But there were very few people, less than almost as many people in that. So mashallah, from that time, it is Qazarin Ashatahu, Fatherhu, Fastawla, Fastawala, Suqi, एक असलिहा साबिदुन व फरूहा फिस समा, जो कुरान कहता है कि जड़ें गहरी हैं और इसकी ब्रांचेस जो हैं आसमान में हैं। 1976 में यहाँ एक कॉन्फ्रेंस हुई थी, वो थी मुस्लिम माइनॉरिटीज़। उसमें अफजल हुसैन साहब आए थे। डॉक्टर अफजल हुसैन साहब का नाम सुना आप लोगों ने? वो बहुत बड़े माहिर तालीम और जमात इस्लामी का पूरा निज़ाम उन्होंने बनाया। मैं उस वक्त प्रोफेसर था मिनेसोटा में, तो उन्हें जब पता चला तो यहाँ पे अब्दुल सलाम अंसारी साहब थे, वो भी रुकन जमात भी थे, हमारे अलीगढ़ से सीनियर थे, और अक्सर उन्हीं के पास ठहरते थे। तो उनका फ़ोन आया कि इनको मालूम हुआ है और आप दोनों फ़ौरन पहुँचे होंगे। ये तो नहीं आ सकी, मैं आया तो 1 हफ्ता में उनके साथ रहा। इसके जो नुकूश हैं उसमें फिर उन्होंने जो ख़यालात हमारे थे उसमें अपना अमली रंग भरा। मैंने उनसे कहा कि मैं तो अगले साल हिंदुस्तान आ रहा हूँ, मेरे लिए पोजीशन निकाली है हमदर्द यूनिवर्सिटी ने। तो उन्होंने कहा आप हरगिज़ ना आएँ, आप यहीं रहें। फिर हमारे वालिद साहब आए, उन्होंने कहा, फिर अब्दुल हसन नदवी साहब, जो भी बुज़ुर्ग आए, सब ने कहा ये काम करें। तो फिर हम सब कुछ छोड़ के इसमें लग गए। आप लोग तो बहुत से काम कर रहे हैं माशाअल्लाह इदारे। हमने इस पे कंसंट्रेट किया तो हमने 2 प्रोग्राम मुकम्मल किए हैं। एक प्रोग्राम वो है जिससे आप सब वाकिफ़ होंगे कि अगर 1 पीरियड हम पढ़ाएं स्कूल में, इस्लामिक स्कूल में, या संडे स्कूल में हम 5 पीरियड्स पढ़ाएं या 4 पढ़ाएं, या समर प्रोग्राम में पढ़ाएं, तो हमारा प्रोग्राम जो है वो इम्प्लीमेंट हो सकता है। ये प्रोग्राम जो है इज़ एट पार विद एनी प्रोग्राम ऑफ सोशल स्टडीज़ इन अमेरिका और व्हाट द Jews and Christians are teaching. It has taken us almost 40 years and more than 250 people have participated in the whole development here in South Africa, in Europe, Middle East, India, and here. And almost, if you think in terms of the expenditure of 40 years, and you put even 1 million a year, so it is 40, 50 million. And in terms of the service, there is no program like this. Then we were called by the Singapore government because they were closing down the madrasa system. The community wanted that we want to revise that and modernize. The challenge in Singapore is more severe than ours because there is a Chinese community surrounded by the Muslims all around, and there are various movements which, according to them, are extremist, and Singapore has nothing of its own except the air. So they are a service economy, one of the most successfully run country. So then we took the whole board there, we discussed, signed the contract, alhamdulillah we completed.
How many Muslims are there?
Muslims are, कहाँ है class साहब? कितने मुस्लिम हैं सिंगापुर में?
Residents.
Population of the whole Singapore is about 4 million, and 15% of the population is Muslim, about 13 to 15%.
But there are 7 madrasas, and so we designed a program for them. We were thinking we'll cosmetically change our program, but they wanted something new. So alhamdulillah, that is completed. It has 200 documents. The smallest document is 100 pages. The maximum is 500 pages. It has syllabus, textbook, workbooks, enrichment books. That is completed, but is not yet published. They published it there up to primary level. Now, after we had done 9/11 happened, we started rethinking the whole thing. Now we are revising everything because we have learned the methodology, more modern methodology. We look at the Catholics and the Jews once again. We started looking at them. So here is a display of some of the books which we have revised. Those of you who are familiar with the previous book, you will know the standard. Now we were initially doing 16 lessons, now we are doing 30 lessons because the schools are established. Also it is in 4-color, art paper, and little increase in the price. But this is a program in which syllabus had been designed by the educators, in which textbooks have been written according to Should I repeat everything? So, this the new program, mashallah, new program, they're all very intelligent, but they will catch up. The new program has, number one, it was that when we made the decision, we are going to live in this country. When the decision was made that we want to be effective and active participating community, which was not the original idea all of you know. Many of us felt we came here to establish Deen-e-Haq, Islamic government. When we were rejecting this whole society, everything, but now we are speaking a different language, not only here in Europe, and we need new vision. So this new vision, the word we are using is make the muttaqi. Muttaqi is one who is righteous, who is God conscious, participating, ya'muruna bil ma'ruf wa yanhauna 'anil munkar, and who is engaged in creative dialogue. La tujadilu ahlal kitabi illa billati hiya ahsan. And anything we do beautiful way. And I say that our institution should be better. They should not smell of curry or biryani, and we should be professional. So we are trying to provide that kind of environment here. Of course, now 80% of the expenses come from the sale of the books. But unfortunately, Muslims are not a book reading community. But since these are textbooks, so they sell. But there are so many books which have come. And one interesting thing that they have not gone beyond where it had come. But they don't have the syllabus, they don't have the workbooks, they don't have the teachers' manuals, they don't have the teachers' training. So this is a kind of like ministry thing, but few people are here which are engaged. Our challenge is that we don't have a marketing person, we don't have an IT person, a professional IT team, and we don't have a fundraising team. That you people are sitting here, we have to learn from you people. But alhamdulillah, we want to make it a viable institution. It is a waqf, it's not a personal thing. That now our challenge is, and that is one reason we invited you. Firstly, we admire you and the work you are doing, you are nice doing, social challenge, that how we can work together. Perhaps we have been trying to teach you, some of you perhaps benefited from these books, that you teach us how to become financially self-sufficient and how we can improve upon the sale and upon that. So where is that we can cooperate in terms of the various areas of expertise that you people have. It is your institution, and of course some of the younger people who want to join, we would be open for that also, because we are doing a new constitution now and we want to have a new board so that we phase out and there is a new phase that IQRA will have. It's just few remarks I thought just to share with you, and if you want to say something, and if you are not too hungry or in too much haste.
If anyone have any questions?
I have a question, brother. These are all the textbooks. So are we anyone? I asked this question. I think a week ago there was an IQRA leadership retreat in Virginia. I asked the same question. That is there anyone in this country writing the books for children on fiction, like when we were young, we used to read a lot of Ibn Safi and all those novels we used to write, but we used to read. But here, I have 4 children. They all read, mashallah. Always I see the books in their hand, but they're reading the fiction. They go to public libraries and pick up the books, and they're a good reader. But I don't find them, at least the good fiction that Islamically that good for them. They can read, and also same when they learn some lessons, our Islamic values. Are you doing anything on that?
Dr. Taslima could answer better.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, this is.
Actually, we had a professional presentation that she would have given, but since you don't have the time.
There are a lot of fiction books. Not the there are mystery too. The only issue is I can send you the list. Is it you, brother? I can send the list to all of you. Only problem is that most of the time people do not buy those books for the children. So what happens is that they are printed and they don't get sold. The schools even, I don't know why they don't recommend, but there are very beautiful books. The fiction, there was one brother, I forget his name, I read all of his books. That was a mystery kind. He was in Virginia too, with Usman Hutchinson. He's an American. He wrote quite a few of them. Then we have got a different level too. One of them is very beautiful, A Boy from Makkah. That's the translation from Dr. Abdul Yamini's Arabic book. So there are quite a few. Also this sister in Kansas, she's also an American sister. She also wrote. So what I can do, brother, if you leave the email, I will definitely forward you, and then you forward it to everyone who has children and tell them, because even in school we encourage them to give the books as gift to the children, and all they give is those little trophies and things like that, or so they have to, it's a genre, Islamic literature is a genre, and unless they read it, they will not develop, affinity with it. They will not be have the facility. So it's very important for us to encourage that, and that is why I think we are just encouraging children to write. Even our textbooks are written in a way at a level of the children's reading level, so that they can sit down and read it on their own, and they really do. So, but you are very right. So more There are, of course, a lot of them also some. There is an Afghani American who wrote quite a few beautiful books. Not only printed by the regular printer. I forget the name of the publisher. The Kite Runner and the whole series. They are beautiful. Aren't they beautiful? So there are quite a few on Ramadan and things like that. So what I will do, I'll send you. I have a book on. I have a list of English. Islamic literature in English, and I will do that. I think that's a very good question, and I think all of you who have children or going to have children, just encourage them. IQRA has at different levels. We also have quite a few of them. Gee.
We don't have on our web.
Yeah, they are on our website. All the books are on our website. Yeah.
IQRA.org. IQRA.org. We have.
And if you are just visiting Devon, I think we have a bookstore there. Alhamdulillah, you will find that we are specialized in children's literature. And we do have a separate section for fiction, and you definitely will be able to get some ideas and some of the books that Dr. Tasima mentioned there as well.
The books written by the British and the American authors, I mean Muslims and non-Muslims are better in terms of interest of the Muslim children in here. But otherwise there are good ones who wrote so many books. But there are issues about the language, about all things. But the ones written by the authors here are very beautiful.
Do you have any communication or contact with GEE in Michigan, Global Education Excellence? They have 12 schools from K to 12.
Okay.
So 12 schools in Michigan, around 10,000 students.
There's a global
Education Excellence. They are based on Arab community. Most of them are Muslims.
Oh, yeah, charter school.
Charter school.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have
Yeah, right, we do. We do have, but I haven't met them, but I would like to call them. Charter school, I mean, for,
contact them.
yeah.
They are mostly like the Islamic books.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Alhamdulillah, this was a very honor for us to be here in the IQRA Foundation. Actually, this is, IQRA is an institution which, personally, me and I know a lot of people has been inspiring for a long time ago. My kids have studied whatever Islamic knowledge. I was in New Jersey, and similarly other people have been. And the textbook and other things, we have been, very much exposed to IQRA, and we never thought that we would be so close to this institution, alhamdulillah, and this is also, great inspiration for all of us. And inshallah ta'ala, as things progresses, we definitely would like to get involved with the education, inshallah ta'ala. And if anything comes into our mind, in your mind, it's very, very a pleasure for us to know each other. And inshallah we can, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may give some common grounds to participate and then encourage each other's work, inshallah ta'ala.
Zahid Bukhari Sahib said something that stick on my mind. Many of his remarks were very profound, and one of them was that the Jews and the Christians and African Americans have traversed this journey in 200 years. And we have to do it in 20 years or 10 years.
50 years.
15 years, he said.
50,
Huh?
Since we came in 60s or 70s,
he said in 50 years.
Oh, what we did, I thought,
Yeah.
he said also, we have to do that. We have to go faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
And something that Mahathir Mohamad said when we were in Singapore, he said we created institutions and gave facilities to the Malay people to advance. When you are behind, you have to run faster. To come, and if you want to win, you have to go even faster. But unfortunately, the result is that they became more slackened. The Malay people, he was saying. So this could be one of the things that we have to avoid. And I think we cannot avoid something which we are lacking worldwide. You said about the novel and short stories. Of course, we read it in a Safi. There are people who are addicted. But kind of good literature, no matter what kind, like he mentioned about this, another book has come by Mr. Salahuddin Sikandar. That's getting also popular. This is outside genre. But even we got criticism for the boy from Makkah, it's a love story, but in the social context of Saudi Arabia. And some people are very angry, why IQRA published that book? But anyway, we have to have all that genre, and it is, we took many steps, but we want to go faster. Our future project, mashallah, this young man, he is putting them on the
iPad and
internet, as iPad and all that. So you can find, and also these will be there on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon. So that is a kind of new thing. Second thing is there is a team which in Orlando working that we could have an academy. There are madrasa, and Dr. Taslima has been working on academy, but financial reasons we had to go slow on it and the revision. But we want to bring so that everybody all across the world will have this availability. So these projects could be done only if there are financial resources. And that is something that I said last night, that you people, or IQRA Relief, or all the relief organizations should see that those institutions which are working here, that they also are looked at, and then we can do something together. And one suggestion which I have in terms of the methodology, and Ashraf Saab has looked at it, that how to raise funds for this, how to make the consciousness that education is important. Like Dr. Taslima said, that what happens when you are giving now, the summer is coming, plastic toys, that cups. They say children like, but they cost and made in China. So books cost $10. I was at Devon Avenue, a very rich person who had a restaurant. He came, I go to your bookstore, but I can't buy the books, they are so expensive. I said, how about your shoe, how much it is? He said $50. I said, $10 book is expensive because you don't think it has. We go and buy sneaker for children with light for 70, 80, but $10 book. But we don't make money. What we try to recover is the printing cost, and we don't recover on most of the books. The one book which he liked, it is an amazing book, but it's only one volume, History of Civilization. It took us 15 years to write and produce. And printing cost was about 20,000 or 25,000, 5,000 copies, and still we have maybe 4,000 copies. So the market is not there. If an American would publish this book, it would publish 100,000. Anyway, we made you aware. Also, finally, we are entering into the age of internet. Today's Farid Zakaria had a very good presentation that all these revolutions came through the social media. We should be in social media. We have not yet learned the language either through pen or through internet to tell our story. And I am very proud that Rashid is spending his own money, his own time, and sacrifice of his wife instead of buying a house that would be more comfortable for their children. He spent the money on making this movie. This movie, again, like a novel genre, is a story of football, because every American loves football. But the football tells the story of their fasting, it tells of their faith, their love for this country, their contribution to this country, the challenges they face. And as you will pick up the food, inshallah, we can start this. It is important that every Muslim and non-Muslim must watch this movie, because this is the first time that that genre is used. And the same problem that we have not recovered in a fraction of the investments. It may not recover even the amount which is spent, but if everybody watches and it shapes the kind of attitude of them, and they understand who we are. We love the football also, but we want to pray. We have the family values, and we have the same kind of passions and commitments to this country. It is an amazing kind of feat which has been accomplished. So wherever you go, talk about it. And see, we'll try maybe, as recommend to him and Bukhari Sahab that during the convention, if you wish,
flown completely.
So maybe we can start playing the movie and
आपसे दरख्वास्त ये है कि दुआ करा दें, दुआ करें।
हाफिज साहब हमारे
अच्छा हाफिज साहब, माशाअल्लाह, हाफिज साहब जी।
वैसे को तो खाना खा के एक दुआ करेंगे
आप जल्दी में चले जाएं। दुआ तो जितनी दफा चाहे कर लें।
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह रब्बिल आलमीन अर्रहमानिर रहीम मालिकि यौमिद्दीन इय्याका नअबुदु व इय्याका नस्तईन इहदिनास सिरातल मुस्तक़ीम सिरातल लज़ीना अनअमता अलैहिम गहायरिल मग़्दूबि अलैहिम वलद्दाल्लीन اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. Before I move further, inshallah, I just want to say something about the value of dua. Alhamdulillah, dua is such a thing which has been called by our scholars as, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also mentioned, this is a weapon for a Muslim. And this is something which is helpful not only for the matters of akhirah, but for the matter of dunya also. Anything else we do, either it could be helpful in the akhirah or it could be helpful in dunya. But dua is something, inshallah, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made such a beautiful thing for us, where nothing else works, dua works, alhamdulillah. As long as sincerity is involved and we have a complete yaqeen on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that whatever we are asking for, as long as alhamdulillah there is a khair in it, Allah Jalla Shanuhu will accept it. If not today, maybe tomorrow. If not in this dunya, Allah will keep the ajr in the akhirah. And when we go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the kind of ajr Allah will show us for all those du'as we made in this dunya and were not accepted for whatever the reason, Allah knows the best. Man will say, oh Allah, maybe not a single dua would have ever been accepted in this dunya for me if I would have known that what kind of ajr you have kept me in the akhirah. So that's why I just want to, inshallah, let everybody know, my dear brothers and sisters. It just came to my mind from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I should, because never ever misunderstand or you can say devalue the value of dua. It is such an important and powerful thing. And if we people would not make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah would not like it. It is like it is the sign of takabbur, and that is not something which has been for us, inshallah. I don't want to make a big speech, but the idea is dua is something we should always make, no matter how intelligent we are, how much efforts we do exert on. At the end of the day, if we do not make dua, if we forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then there are always chances we can derail our efforts, and if we can end up like at a dead end. So alhamdulillah, when the duas are there, as Abdullah Ghazi Sahib was sharing with us about this very building, how he was just passing through area and always used to like read some part of the Quran and made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, give me this thing. And he said he was saying just in ordinary fashion, but Allah was serious. So Allah gave him in a very, very, you can say, in a way that it was unconceivable even, inshallah. So subhanallah, just I will end it here, alhamdulillah. Let's make dua with a very sincere heart, alhamdulillah, with the cause they are working for us, for the whole Muslim and Ummah is. It's a great cause, alhamdulillah. And I personally have been a part of this one because I have run a school for 10 years, and mashallah, I can say maybe 70 or 80% time I used to buy the books from IQRA, alhamdulillah. Our account is still there. We must join with the Masjid in Atlanta, alhamdulillah. So let's make dua, inshallah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب القبر وقنا عذاب الحشر وقنا عذاب الميزان. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. ربنا تقبل منا. ربنا تقبل منا. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. تب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Oh Allah, accept the efforts of all those, alhamdulillah, who are doing any work of khair for your rizq. Say Ameen, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, we all know that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sent to this world as a teacher, alhamdulillah. And mashallah, any work which is related to the knowledge, and subhanallah, look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala start with Surah Rahman, Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, Khalaq al-Insan. Before even he said that he has created man, he said, I have taught the Quran. How? Then Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. All these things, inshallah. So may Allah accept efforts of Iqra and efforts of everybody else, inshallah, whosoever is involved in any good thing. And I shared this one thing, inshallah, a few days before. If anybody wants to know what is his status before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he should know, this is what my teacher told me, he should know or she should know what kind of work he is involved in, what kind of activities he is spending his precious time day and night, alhamdulillah. As long as we are working in any area which inshallah goes to the pleasure of Allah Jalla Shanuhu, we should be happy about it. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has accepted us. Wallahu yakhtassu bi rahmatihi man yasha. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a lot of barakah inshallah in IQRA, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help them from ghaib inshallah. For Allah, nothing is difficult. Maybe it is difficult for us, and whatever our brother Abdullah Ghazi said, alhamdulillah, whatever his needs are, whatever their deficiencies, may Allah fulfill his needs inshallah, may Allah fulfill his desire alhamdulillah, and may Allah make this idara one of the best in the world. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.